What is he?
Oh no, it's Ragiroth Enterprises!
I love to sing about the moon and the June and the springer. I love to sing about a sky of blue or a T42, anything with a swing.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome. I am Rich Lancy of Ragiroth Enterprises, and welcome to my channel. Yeah, I know I'm a little late with April Fool's stuff, but I wanted to copy some other channels like that Mark Yarn in the intro, or what I just said, Creepy Gaming, Sticky Paddle. So anyway, for today's video, I wanted to do a video in honor of, I guess, two occasions. First, of Bardock and Broly finally being available in Dragon Ball Fighterz. I'll enjoy my gameplay of them in the background. And maybe an even bigger reason is in honor of Dragon Ball Super coming to an end for now. I wanted to talk about my favorite characters introduced in the series. And yes, I am counting Battle of the Gods and Revival F characters as Dragon Ball Super characters, because I feel like they were kind of just, those movies were kind of just test runs put in Dragon Ball Super. As ridiculous as that was, I feel like that kind of solidifies those two movies as Dragon Ball Super, just kind of, I guess, the test versions of them, if you will. And I won't be counting characters that were maybe reintroduced into into Dragon Ball Super that have been around for a while, like Park Ranger 17. Like, I love him, he's my boy. I'm so happy he was back and he got such a bigger role. And he did sort of feel like a new character, but it is still Android 17 who was introduced in Z. And I'm not counting like new forms old characters got, like Golden Frieza, Super Saiyan Blue Vegito, or Ultra Instinct Goku, because as cool as they were, they're just new forms for characters that already exist. And they basically look the same, but they're probably just color swaps for the most part. Onto the list. Oh, I should say that there will be kind of, some of the choices are alternate versions of characters that are on the list already. You'll understand what I mean when I get to it. So anyway, let's get this started. Number 10. Toppo. Now, honestly, I hated Toppo at first. I thought he was really stupid looking, really lame, very corny. Just nothing was really cool about him at all, in my opinion at least. However, my opinion of him changed a lot more for the better near the end of the Tournament of Power arc, when he transformed into his God of Destruction form, if you want to call it that. And it was revealed he was a God of Destruction in training. And it made a lot of sense why he was with Belmod and I forget the Harley Quinn Angel's name, in the kind of the hooded outfit when you were the kind of, I guess, the preliminaries for the Tournament of Power with Universe 7 fighting Universe 9. That made a lot more sense. I just think he became a lot more cool, a lot more threatening when he transformed, and I also kind of liked that he kind of realized he kind of had to sacrifice everything he cared about to, I guess, enter this form, take on this power. He just became almost a totally different character, just overall way cooler. And I hope if he does make it in any games, he kind of takes on, you'll be able to at least fully control this form. It won't be just a temporary transformation or anything like that. Wishful thinking, I don't know, but yeah. But yeah, anyway, I should also mention that I'm mostly judging characters based off of, design, fighting style, and their personality and role as well. Number 9, Frost. Oh, Frost, you had so much potential to be more. Oh my god, this was such a waste of potential. I do like Frost. I think he's kind of a nice, I guess, counterpart to Frieza. I actually think in some ways I kind of like how he looks more than Frieza. I like that he has shoes, but no, I do think he was a cool counterpart to Frieza, kind of playing this, this fake hero, being more underhanded than Frieza. And I do like that we kind of saw him go through the first and third forms that Frieza had, because I feel like with Frieza, it's they only care about the first and final form. It was really nice seeing the third form again. Kind of wish he utilized that more, but I know wishful thinking. The reason Frost is not higher on this list is because he kind of got pushed to the side, and when I liked him being kind of an underhanded Frieza at first, I don't like that, when they were building up to him being stronger, or to becoming stronger, he was going to train with Hit or something like that, and it just kind of, he really didn't become that much stronger. He was still just kind of his still his underhanded kind of self, you know, still just doing his same thing. And you know, I was really hoping that he was going to get a new transformation, ideally maybe like a 5th form cooler form, kind of like how we get a character that has kind of a legendary Super Saiyan Broly form. But no, all he got was the freaking boring 100% form Frieza God back in the end of the Namek Saga, and it was for like 5 seconds, and then that was it. I am happy he at least came back in the end, and maybe he'll have one more chance to, you know, become cooler, no pun intended. Probably not, though. They'll probably just screw it up somehow again. But at the end of the day, I still do like Frost. But that's kind of why he's a little lower on this list. Number 8, Jiren. Now, I know in a couple of videos I kind of sort of complain about Jiren, and it makes it sound like I don't really like him. That's not exactly true. I think I kind of found out what I really think of him. It's not that I don't like him. I just think he's very plain for, I guess, you know, a main villain, or I should say an antagonist or final boss of an arc. His design is just very plain to me. His fighting style is, for the most part, pretty plain. Personality and what his goals are is kind of plain as well. I mean, I guess it's something a little different, you know, fighting this kind of intense amount of solitude. But even still, I mean, while being kind of disappointing for maybe kind of a last boss, he's still pretty cool. I mean, he basically gave everyone a run for their money, and is possibly, I guess, you know, maybe the strongest Dragon Ball antagonist ever. And he still did do some really cool moves, but that's about it. I mean, like I said, he is cool, and I think just for being how strong he was and all the crazy crap he could do, it does put him a place on this list. But again, he's kind of on the lower end just because very plain design, very plain fighting style, just could have been a bit more. And of course, you know, most villains or antagonists get a transformation. All he gets is a little more buffed up and his shirt comes off, and it's not quite as cool of a change as it is when it happens to Toppo. Honestly, I'd almost kind of put Toppo higher than him, but I know it'd only be for, you know, his one form, and that just wouldn't really seem fair, to be honest. Went throughout most of the arc, I do probably like Jiren more. Number 7, Kale. Now, I was pretty pumped when I saw that we were finally kind of going to get kind of a really strong nod to like a movie or GT non-canon character in Dragon Ball Super, and with that is with Kale, Broly, and of course it's Broly. You know, it's kind of the only kind of non-canon thing that can kind of get any bit of recognition. But even still, you know, I always love me some Broly, and it was good just to kind of get something. And Kale is basically a female counterpart to Broly. Even like in her base form, she kind of looks like him in his base form. And yeah, like Broly, you know, I guess she has a very divisive fan base. I guess, you know, if you like Broly, you're probably gonna like Kale, or on one hand, you might think she's just kind of a ripoff of Broly. But I do think she is, I guess, a cool derivative of him, and I think it is really nice, kind of seeing what would happen with Broly if he did become kind of a good guy, and not only that, but kind of team up with, you know, I guess the counterpart to the possible counterpart of the person he hates most. But I still probably like Broly more, but I think Kale was still a really cool character and had some really nice moments in her fights, and some really cool teamwork with Caulifla. And speaking of Caulifla, moving on, number 6, Caulifla. Now, you know, people have been begging for a female Super Saiyan or a female Saiyan for a while. I mean, I guess we kind of had female Saiyans, but they never really got to do too much, I guess, or get too powerful. They never went Super Saiyan or anything like that. Caulifla, we definitely got that with, and you know, along with Kale, of course, too. However, I guess unlike Kale, Caulifla wasn't kind of a clear inspiration from another character. And now I know, yeah, she does share some things in common with Goku. People, I think, do kind of think Kaba is their names are so similar, that Caulifla is the female Universe 6 counterpart to Goku. Even still, I think she's kind of different enough, design-wise and arguably even personality-wise than Goku. I feel like she's a lot more kind of aggressive and rude in her personality than Goku is. You know, Goku's kind of rude, but in kind of a goofy, childlike sort of way. Khalifa's very spunky. She has a cool design. She had some really cool fights with Goku. I love that she's, you know, trying to, you know, just kind of, like, you know, move on in the next form, And I was disappointed, of course, she didn't get to go Super Saiyan 3, because Super Saiyan 3, and anyone that likes Super Saiyan 3, I guess. But, still really cool. You know, I really enjoyed her fights and her interaction with Goku and the other Saiyans. I really like kind of the bond she has with Kale. It's just very funny, you know, and strange seeing such an opposite relationship to Broly and Goku. Number 5, Beerus. You know, I know, you know, like I said in the beginning of the video, I know, yes, he wasn't really introduced in Super, but I count him as a Super character. The funny thing is, when I first saw Beerus, I thought he was so stupid. Like, I thought he looked really dumb. Like, I'm like, are you kidding me? This is going to be the new Dragon Ball Z villain? Like, this stupid cat god thing? However, it was definitely a case of don't judge a book by its cover. I kind of had to see him in action and see how his personality was and how he fought to kind of decide how I really feel about him. He's arguably become maybe one of my favorite Dragon Ball characters after seeing more of him. I think his design kind of popped more in motion. He does some really cool moves in the series. I mean, he basically wipes the floor with almost, I think, practically everyone. Even Goku, basically. Yeah, I mean, Goku never even officially beats him yet. I think with kind of the Ultra Instinct, he'd probably have a good shot at beating him. But anyway, I think one of the other nice things about Beerus, he kind of offers a new kind of role that's never been kind of given in the series before. Kind of this sort of neutral third party, like, I don't know, like overseer character or something like that, along with Whis. Because I feel like Dragon Ball tends to be very black and white. You know, you have your heroes and your villains. But Beerus is kind of in the middle. I mean, he's definitely leaning more towards a hero, especially late in the later parts of the series. But even then, he won't always directly intervene to help the hero. So that's why he's still kind of a neutral gray area. And that's, I think, one of the interesting things about him. It would be nice to see him fight more again. Maybe, hopefully, we'll get that in the future. But, you know, Beerus is really cool. You know, I'm kind of glad that, you know, he's definitely warmed up to me. It's number 4, Kefla. Now, this is kind of what I meant. How some of the choices on this list might be alternate versions of characters on the list. Like, yeah, I know I said no alternate forms. However, I kind of said that for characters already introduced in, you know, Dragon Ball. And not only that, but like Vegeta is, you know, kind of, to me at least, and Gogeta are kind of considered different characters in Goku and Vegeta. But Vegeta just got a new power up in Super. He didn't get, like, there was no new fusion, unfortunately. But Kefla was a brand new fusion, brand new person introduced in the same arc that Khalifa and Kale were introduced in. And now, this is kind of a silly reason, or I guess not very in-depth reason, to why I like Kefla so much, or, you know, more than Khalifa and Kale, is because, I mean, Kefla is basically just the best of both worlds, in all honesty. I mean, like, I might like Khalifa's hair a bit more than Kefla, but that's about it. I like that it's kind of Khalifa, but enhanced with kind of Kale's, I guess, Berserk. Well, I don't even know if it's the Berserk mode, just kind of green Broly power up thing. I love some of the new moves Kefla does, and I love the fight with her and Goku. Even if it was kind of, wasn't the most longest fight ever, but it was a really cool, stylish fight. And I love that she kind of became that powerful already, to kind of have to draw out Ultra Instinct in Goku, You know, I'm hoping maybe they'll fuse again in the future. And I was meaning to mention, that is another thing I like with Kale, is that she kind of, even though obviously I love the Berserker or Broly form, I love that she kind of gets that kind of controlled form, where she's not as bulky, but she still kind of has the same hair. I'm hoping that can maybe be a form in games or something like that to kind of differentiate her from Broly. But yeah, you know, it's not really much, but Kefla is just simply the best of both worlds for me. That's why she's higher up on the list. Number 3, Goku Black. Now, kind of like Beerus, well, at least when I heard of the idea that, you know, that the next villain, the next arc's villain would be like an evil Goku or something like that, I thought that was so dumb. But I guess when I saw Goku Black, I'm like, okay, maybe this is gonna be really cool. And turns out, yeah, I think Goku Black was a really cool, threatening villain. And it's sort of funny because it's kind of like a baby situation, but if it happened to Goku, and instead of it being like a scientific origin, it's more of, I guess, a mystical, magical origin. The other thing it helps is, you know, this arc was probably my favorite arc in Dragon Ball Super. I feel like any arc involving Future Trunks in the future is probably going to be my favorite arc in a Dragon Ball series. So that definitely helped Goku Black. I loved his fighting style, his personality, his voice. Everything about him is just really cool, you know. And I'm glad he, you know, he offered some new things from Goku. You know, the only thing he had in common was the instant transmission of the Kamehameha. And he probably in both forms had the coolest Kamehameha form ever, the coolest colored Kamehameha ever. I'm a little more fan of the purple blackish color one, but the pink one's still cool too. And it's funny thing is, when I first saw Super Saiyan Rose, I thought it was really stupid. I was really hoping that would be like, you know, the white-haired Super Saiyan form, but of course not. However, kind of the more I saw Rose, the more I liked it. I'm noticing that's a trend with Dragon Ball Super things. No, I overall just really like Goku Black. I'm really happy he made it into Fighterz. Shame we had the same go, but you know, he was a pretty bad dude. Number 2, merged Zamasu. Or I mean, I guess Zamasu, but merged Zamasu is actually my favorite form of, you know, Goku Black Zamasu, whatever like that. Again, yeah, I know this is kind of cheating. First of all, yeah, I guess merged Zamasu is also kind of the best of both worlds. But I know a lot of people like, you know, Goku Black the most. People weren't that happy with merged Zamasu, but first of all, I really like merged Zamasu's design. If you notice, I just said I was kind of mad there's no white-haired Super Saiyan form, and you know, obviously before Ultra Instinct, you know, we got this. It was, you know, it basically counts. It's basically the rose hair, but white. I think I liked that Zamasu kind of went from like kind of a DBZ villain to like kind of he kind of reminded me of a Final Fantasy villain as merged Zamasu, to be honest. And I think even if it was kind of a short-lived part of the arc, I think it was maybe overall the craziest and most intense. I really liked his abilities and fighting styles as well, even if he didn't really become that much of a physical fighter until he kind of, I guess, got his he became corrupted because of Goku Black's mortality not being immortal. Yeah, I really liked his god complex, and I think, you know, even if his reasons for doing what he did still were by no means good at all, I actually think when it comes to DBZ villains, I think Zamasu, had one of the better reasons for, you know, being a bad guy than some of the other ones. It could have just maybe been explored a bit more. But yeah, I think merged Zamasu is, I think, a really cool last form. Goku Black or Zamasu, whatever the hell you want to call him. I know, you know, like I said, I know a lot of people, you know, disagree, but I don't know, I personally really liked him. He's one of my favorite characters introduced in Super. Alright, so now, I'm not going to do any honorable mentions, but the number 1 spot goes to Hit. I feel like people should have maybe seen this coming based off some of my previous videos, but I really like Hit. Hit has become one of my favorite Dragon Ball characters ever. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, like, oh, you rank Jiren so low, and Hit kind of suffers from some of the same problems he does. Yeah, you know, maybe Hit doesn't exactly have the most colorful personality or most colorful reasons for doing what he's doing. If anything, there might actually be worse reasons, because he's just an assassin. He just does it for money. However, here's the thing. He absolutely crushes it in every other area. I love his design. I really like his design. I mean, yeah, it is partially because it reminds me of Cooler, but even still, I think he just looks really cool and stands out a lot more to me than Jiren. I was really fascinated with him as soon as I saw him. Yeah, you know, the top of his head is a bit questionable in shape, but otherwise, I think he just looks really cool. And his fighting style is something really cool and really unique that has never been done in Dragon Ball before. I mean, yeah, there's like, I guess arguably with Goldo, but it's, I don't know, it's a whole different scale here with it. And I think the thing is, it also kind of, we haven't really had many assassins in Dragon Ball. I think, you know, probably not since the original Dragon Ball. I don't think there was any, yeah, there's really none in DBZ. So it's kind of cool to see an actual assassin that fights on the same power level as other DBZ characters instead of just being like a normal human. And I think the fight Hit had with Goku is probably one of the, you know, the biggest moments of Super. And I think he's just a very cool, mysterious character that even if, yeah, maybe his, you know, personality could add a bit more. And I was kind of hoping you'd maybe, you know, find out a little bit more about him, maybe in the Tournament of Power. I mean, we do know that he's very, very old, apparently. You know, it did show that he does kind of, he did at least, you know, even if it was just about money, he did care enough about his, you know, universe to give it his all in Tournament of Power. So that, I think that says something. He actually probably shows that he cared more about his friends, you know, more than Jiren did, for what it's worth. But no, Hit to me was just a really cool character. And like I think I've said before, I'm honestly surprised he's not a movie or GT character, because I usually like how they look a lot better. And yeah, I think that's about it. I apologize if my reasons are kind of shallow, and I apologize if I kind of cheat with having, you know, multiple forms like Merge Zamasu and Kefla. I just kind of think, you know, they're different enough to kind of be separate choices on this list. Hope you guys like it. If not, you know, I'm sorry. But, you know, like the video if you like it, dislike it if you dislike it. Let me know some of your thoughts, what characters you really liked introducing Dragon Ball Super. What kind of characters you may be hoping, you know, might be in the future, like in the movie coming out or anything like that. I am looking forward to the movie. I'm curious to see what, you know, speaking of new characters, see more of what this new Saiyan looks like. Is it Yamashi? Is it the King of Universe 6? I don't know. But, don't forget to check out marking art in the description below. Subscribe if you haven't already. I'd really appreciate it. And as I always say, I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye!